Welcome to Plutocracy, guys, the closest thing to a Daniel Day-Lewis simulator, and this will be blood you're ever gonna find, and I absolutely love this game. Now, there's still a lot to be added here. Sorry, I'm gonna have to turn that music off. I love it, but at the same time, don't want any copyright issues. It's just fascinating. So we essentially get to start a company, or really, we need to buy a company. Now, currently, we can't do the episode selection. We have to jump into the actual sandbox. And this allows us to create a randomized, well, not a randomized character, a character that we can actually either create or randomize. I think for the purposes of this video, I'm probably just going to make a quick one. And of course, jump into the world. Now, our goal is to make profits. And by profits, of course, we mean mostly stock profits. Essentially, we want to make investments in certain companies and get a return on those investments. But so much goes into play. We need to convince people to even sell us the stock. We need to get the political support to even be considered purchasers of the stock. And we can even manipulate the elections a little bit in favor of a certain governor or even the president. But that comes a lot later in the game. Right now, we're just your good old-fashioned capitalists getting started. So let's jump right in. Home sweet home, my friends. And here we are back in our office. This is the character I chose. We're not going to go too much into detail. One thing I wanted to show you is the agent's ability. And these agents can actually solve some problems for us. We can eventually unlock them. But some of them use, how could I say, unscrupulous means to achieve their ends. If it comes to that, though, then that's what we're going to go for. Now, we're still developing, or not me, but the company is still developing parts of the actual budget, income, and expenses. That still is going to take a little bit of work, but we're going to stay right here in California to make our purchases. And what we want to try to do is look for a company with quite a lot of people in it, a company that's fairly profitable, or at the least a little bit inexpensive. And this one right here doesn't look like it's making money right now. The profitability is down, but look at the amount of shareholders. So we're going to jump right in here, and we are going to try and purchase some shares with our $100,000. That's all we've got right now. However, in 1870, I'm sure that's the equivalent of what, 1.52 million? Somebody let us know in the comments down below in any case. We want to see people that are favorable to us. Now, very few of these people even know who we are. Some of them are actually locked to us because we simply don't have the amount of prestige to be recognized by them. But I'm going to go to Cody Russell here, and I'm going to ask good old Cody if he would like to do a deal. I don't have any dirt on him, and I don't have an agent that could do anything to him, but I hope that we can at least get quite a few shares here, about 49,000 worth. And for that, we need to try and pass the first round. Now, if I do this, I actually save money. However, it's not as good an argument for him, so there's less of a chance of it going through. If I do this, of course, the share price is going to increase here, and he's going to sell it to me for more money. And if we go for argument A, that's sort of neutral ground, but I'm going to go for B. I'm trying to get the best price I can, and he just refused that. That's just too bad. We're going to have to go elsewhere to purchase something. So maybe Douglas Brown. Let's go back a bit here. Or Nicholas Brown, rather. Let's see if we can do a deal with him for Nelson Incorporated. So I'm going to try to once again buy about 53,000, and I'd like to go with argument A, although none of them are that good for me. Argument B is the best, and this one's very neutral. I'm going to go for B. I've got to keep trying, guys. It'll eventually work, although it might take some time, and we might need to move on to other companies if this continues. That being said, I'm going to keep my eye here on Blue Peel Inc., and even people that are not exactly my friends, or not friendly to me in the slightest, might be willing to sell shares of this company, and I want those shares. So even if it's not a great deal, I might just take it, just to see what happens. And of course, this is like gambling in many ways. It could go up or down. We just don't know. It's only going to be a matter of time before we find out. And she's pretty unwilling to sell those shares either way, but there we go. We got it, guys. So our first round of shares. We'll have to see how that company performs in time. But as you can see, we still have some money as well, and it looks like we're making some bonuses from our assets. Now, you have to know the difference between assets and actual cash. Actual cash, that's the nice green beautiful bills we've got over here, but these are assets, and they're only worth money once we actually sell them. So for now, they're doing well, and I'd like to purchase even more here in California. Now, eventually we can move to other states and start purchasing things there, but right now I want to stay in the good old California Republic. See what else we've got here in these other companies. Let's see what you guys got. What do you have? What do you have? No, I don't care about the enmity. This is just my personal finance. So I'm actually going to have to jump right into the state itself. And maybe we should get a more profitable company. This one doesn't have too many shareholders. No, that's the issue here. But a lot of these in California seem to be, you know, a lot better managed than some of the ones in the South. No offense to my Southern subscribers. But over there, you've got companies with 30, 40, sometimes 50 board members and shareholders, and you can really buy out the company quite easily that way. So I'm going to go here to Aceron Transport. I'm going to see if I can't finagle out a deal. I don't know if I can. But I'm going to go to Colin Cooper. This guy does not look nice. Let's see if we've got any dirt on him. No, we don't. We have no ability for blackmail. Now, we can unlock that ability by studying criminalistics, but we need to purchase those books to be able to study them. That's a whole nother aspect of the game that's quite fascinating. So I'd like to keep a little bit of money in my pocket. I'm barely buying any of the shares here. Let's try to go for argument B. It's not good for him, but you know what? The man is a busy man. He's willing to sell us those shares, and I'm more than happy to buy them. Now, at some point, we'll actually own these companies, believe it or not, guys. But that takes time. You know, at some point, we'll have more than 40% of the shares of the company, and at that point, we essentially become the de facto CEO. Now, they could still vote us out and, you know, become the CEO themselves, but owning that many shares gives us a tremendous amount of power in Plutocracy, and that's what we're looking for, more and more and more power. Now, it looks like there's actually an auction going on, and these auctions are more important than you might think, because having these goods actually brings you respect amongst the other businessmen and increases your reputation. But right now, of course, we've put all our money into our stocks, so we can't do anything about the auctions at this moment. We're going to have to wait just a little bit. Bill appointment was considered by California State Governor. The bill has been approved. Okay, now we don't have much political power at all right now, but at some point we can actually start using our income to assist governors, presidents, things like this, and they can do favors for us in return. Maybe even get us, you know, some easy shares of certain stocks. The game itself is still very much in early development, but they are planning to add so much. As you can see, there is a huge federal government page here, even a senatorial page and a House of Representatives page and this might even be the Supreme Court up here, to really allow you to just influence politics as the wealthiest man in America. And of course, that's the goal in this short game, is for us to become the wealthiest man in America by 1880, I believe, and maybe 1890. And that's not going to be easy at all. So let's see how we did for our first month. It either did very, very well or a very, very poor, one or the other. And at this point, you always get a very cool quote by either a president or a famous investor. So we made a little bit, about $4,000. That's not a lot of money though. So $4,000 there with those stocks, and with just 4.31K to spend, I say we keep on going. Try to get to the end of the turn here. Now, this grandfather clock, once again, we cannot even go to the auction, but we want to eventually go to those auctions. So at some point, we want to liquidate some of these stocks, put that money in our bank account where it belongs, and then things should be going pretty well. But over here, we can see that our income forecast is okay. We're making about 3,500 a turn, but that's definitely nowhere near enough to become the richest man in the country. Got a lot of work here. So Legislature Congressman Jacob Jacobson from California wants to buy Peel Inc. shares, and he's actually offering 2% above the usual price, but man, I love these shares right now. I do want to eventually liquidate them. He wants us to sell all of our shares here, so I'm going to refuse him for now, and the fact that he's a congressman could mean that there could be some political consequences for me later, but I can't focus on that right now. As you can see, this is the rating here, and by getting things like those auctions, that goes up. We need to improve that because right now people are, these other businessmen are kind of like, this guy's kind of a joke. I don't expect him to go very far. Once again, we're back up to 111,000. Only 5,000 to spend. That could eventually be enough for an auction if we keep looking here. Well, some of those shares are starting to cost us money, guys, and sometimes you just need to sell what you've got. Now, he actually wants to buy Aceron Transport's share here. We're going to make a profit by selling, and I think it's worth it. When you need money, you need money. There's no real way to get bailed out in this game, although I hope they eventually add that, where you could get something like a bank loan. But right now, our shares, our stocks, more importantly, are not profitable. Well, the shares of our stocks are not profitable. And actually, as you can see, things can affect this. And for instance, at Aceron Transport right now, there is a strike going on. Because of these striking workers, we can't get anything sold. And of course, that's costing our money a huge amount. Just massive. Now, once again, Blue Peel Inc. I'm not making a lot of money here, but I have faith in this company, guys. I really do. I want to try to buy a larger percentage of this company. And every turn, you can sort of retry with the people that have rejected you on previous attempts. For instance, I'd love to ask this investor, but we just don't have the relationship ability to actually ask him anything. So I'm going to go back to Ryan Collins. We bought shares from him before, and his relationship to us actually grew after that purchase. So I'm going to try to do a deal here for Blue Peel Inc. Of course, I never want to get rid of all my cash, but a good bit of it. Let's go for it. That's going to be quite profitable for me. At least if the stock does well. That's always the case. Oh, no. Oh, no. He refused that outright. He's not interested one bit. What about Alexandra Cox? Again, not my favorite lady, but let's try to get some Blue Peel Inc. stocks off her. She's not very friendly, I've heard. Alright, again, that would be best for us. We could also just try to go a lot more neutral, but I'd really like to get the best end of this deal. Why, thank you, Alexandra. So glad to make that that deal with you. And of course, now we own a certain percentage of actually this company. And if we want to take a look at our stake, then we just go over here. And we take a look over here, and we can see that we have 0.244% of the company, not even 1%. It's a very small stake, but over time, you know, that's going to get better and better, hopefully, if the stock performs well, and I'm hoping that it's going to. We have to hope that that wealth increases very soon, not just the wealth, but the income forecast for our stocks. We really do need a nice boost, some actual art here, or else we're just going to lose all the respect of the wealthy. They're just not going to like us one bit. All right. Oh, not looking good one bit. We might try to sell these stocks at some point. For now, I'm going to try to ride them through, because this could always change. The forecast could always change. Let's see if there's anything going on here. No strikes, nothing going on. We just need to let that company perform. All right. Investor does want to buy Blue Peel shares. Once again, I said I believed in this company, but he only wants to buy a percentage, and we'll make some money back. I am going to agree, unfortunately. So we did get a achievement here for negotiations, which adds to our experience. And yes, experience is important in this game, including these economic bonuses you can get. So as you can see here, you could reduce player maintenance costs. You could increase investments. So again, this is really something you want to start learning. We want to go ahead and learn that skill if we can. And I also want to learn the criminal skill, because I want to start you know, doing some underhanded tactics to get what I want, the criminalistics. But we've got to wait for that a bit. But this is just one way in the game to become a better investor. Not just watching the stocks and how they change month to month, but also upgrading your skills over here. So we've got a gun for sale. Now let's take a look here. A Colt Navy. I like that. I'm going to participate in this auction. 44. I'll bid. I'll bid 55. Oh no, I don't want to bid 63. I don't even think I have 63. So it was not purchased by us. Quite embarrassing. But that's the cost of doing business after all, my friends. That's just the way things are. And look at this. As we can see, there are some oil. There's some oil bonuses going on in Texas. maybe it's time to actually move states and get over here to Texas. Medicoro Oil is maybe some good oil stock to purchase now. Aurora Petrol, look at this. There aren't many board members, though, for these companies, so we might be weaseling. Would you stick with the current companies we have, or would you move to Texas and maybe try to make some money in the oil markets? Let me know in the comments down below, guys. It's winter. It's cold out here. I want to start making some money, but look at that. It looks like those stocks are really continuing to become profitable. So I might stay here in California, but if you want to see another episode of this, let me know in the comments down below. Also, if you like this video, hit that like button, drop a comment, subscribe if you haven't already, and of course, hit the bell because YouTube doesn't seem to like sending out notifications almost at all. So let's try and put an end to that. And while we're at it, let's try to get a huge buy here of Aceron Transport. I want to buy back my shares. That company's doing so damn well. Come on now. Come on now. I'm going to throw everything into it, and I mean everything. I don't think he's going to take the deal, but if he does, that'll be a huge deal, and he does take it. What a nice end to the video. Let's hope that pays off. But now we actually own a nice amount of that company. Let's take a look at how much we own. We just put 60 grand into it. Still 0.211%. Nothing at all. Alright guys, catch you in the next video, and thank you again for watching.